Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, June 28th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with news on lead All-Elite Wrestling announcer Tony Schiavone. Schiavone dropped out of the live commentary on Wednesday's Dynamite before the conclusion of the show, which the announcer revealed yesterday was due to his losing his voice during the broadcast. Schiavone began the show in his customary commentary position alongside Taz and Excalibur. There's no word on whether he will be required to miss any upcoming broadcasts, including Sunday night's Forbidden Door pay-per-view. In ratings news, AEW Dynamite viewership bounced back a bit this week, bringing in 680,000 viewers to TBS on Wednesday, according to WrestleNomics. That's up from last week's record low number of 502,000. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .22, also up from last week's demo rating of .16. TNA Impact aired last night on Access TV, featuring matches taped on June 15th in Cicero, Illinois. In the main event, Nick Nemeth defeated Rich Swann to qualify for the six-way match for the TNA World title at Slammiversary.
Hey, Swann, how the hell is he on his feet?
I think he got bounced right to it.
Danger zone!
Swann was bounced to his feet, caught the danger zone. Is that it?
Nemeth has earned another shot at the TNA World title.
Here's your winner, Nick Nemeth.
Nemeth dug down deep, scratched and clawed to get back to an opportunity at the TNA World title.
Steve Maclin also defeated Sami Callihan on the show to qualify for the six-way. During a promo segment, TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace brawled with Ash by Elegance's security after she was informed that Ash would not be wrestling her on the show. Instead, the match was made for Slammiversary. In other results, Masha Slamovich beat Zaya Brookside, ABC defeated the Rascals and Cody Deaner and Jake Something in a three-way tag team match, and Kushida beat Alan Angels. After the match, Jonathan Gresham attacked Kushida. Ring of Honor streamed last night on Honor Club, featuring matches taped June 20th in Allentown, Pennsylvania, June 15th in Youngstown, Ohio, and June 8th in Council Bluffs, Iowa. In the main event, ROH World Champion Mark Briscoe retained the title against ROH TV Champion Kyle Fletcher. In a non-title proving ground match, ROH Women's TV Champion Billy Starks defeated Angelica Risk. In a six-man tag team match, Lance Archer and the Righteous defeated Duke Davis, Gannon Jones, and Victor Benjamin. In other results, Taya Valkyrie beat Trish Adora, Lee Johnson topped Alex Reynolds, Marina Shafir went over Erica Lee, and the Dark Order bested the Outrunners and Nick Comoroto. In WWE news, Dijak is a free agent today as the company has allowed his contract to expire with no plans to renew it, according to an announcement yesterday from the wrestler, who complained that WWE stonewalled his negotiations for a contract renewal. Said Dijak on social media, quote, "Here's the truth. WWE never negotiated with me. We attempted to negotiate and they stonewalled us. They never made me a single offer when they informed me that they would not renew my contract at the 11th hour." End quote. Dijak had been under contract to WWE since September of 2017. In more AEW news, the company has hired Ray Lloyd, best known as Glacier in WCW during the 1990s, as a backstage producer and coach, according to Fightful Select. Lloyd still occasionally wrestles, as he did last February on an independent show for QT Marshall. He also appeared as Glacier in AEW's first Casino Battle Royal. And in some unfortunate news, Lou Tett, best known as one of the most successful and sought-after bookers of wrestling's territorial era, as well as one of the last surviving wrestlers of the 1950s, passed away on Wednesday, according to an announcement made by his family. Tett's greatest success as a booker came in Eddie Graham's championship wrestling from Florida throughout the 1960s and 70s, where he was instrumental in launching the careers of Jack Briscoe, Dusty Rhodes, and Hulk Hogan, among others. The French-Canadian Tett got his first break in 1961, wrestling for Nick Goulas and Roy Welch in Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas as Joe Fargo, a short-lived member of the Fargo brothers. He would later attain success under his own name, first in Texas for Morris Siegel, and most notably in Florida, where he first arrived in 1965. Known for his ability to work effectively as both a heel and a babyface despite his 5'9" stature, Tett quickly parlayed that into success behind the scenes in office positions, first for the Florida promotion, but later in places like Mike LaBelle's Los Angeles territory as well, where he replaced retiring longtime booker Jewel Strongbow in 1973. As a booker, Tillett had an eye for talent and is known for discovering a young Dusty Rhodes tag teaming with Dick Murdoch in Detroit as the Texas Outlaws and making the decision to bring them to Florida and give Rhodes his first major singles push. Several years later, he helped bring a young Terry Bollea into wrestling and was the first to give him the nickname Hulk. Tillett retired from the wrestling business in the mid-1980s, moving to North Carolina with his wife and 2 daughters and starting up a real estate business, which he continued to run well into his 70s. Louis Tillett was 90 years old. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.